Hi there, how are you? Hope you are doing great. Welcome to this collective reading. If you are new to this channel, then hi, this is your channeler Sunamoon. And if you already know me, then you already know me. Let's jump into this collective reading right away. So, people, in this collective reading, in this transmission, I'm going to be picking on to the intense energy of somebody who is going through a certain experience in the twin flame ascension journey. Now, whosoever I'm channeling is also a representative of a collective message. So there could be a bit of difference also because I can pick up onto some more energies which are either similar in nature or slightly different, but they are headed to the same destination. So this person feels, now if you resonate with it, then do mention it in the comment section. And some of you can resonate 100%, and some of you might resonate a bit less. But whatever the case is, this is a timeless reading. If you don't resonate with something, kindly scrap it. And timeless reading means that you can listen to it now, you'll get certain messages, but if you listen to it 2 years later, also, you will still figure out something from it. And the second meaning of a timeless reading is that even if I'm making it today for a certain section of people in the collective, after 2 years, it will be relevant for those people who would reach this stage in their journey. So it seems like the universe is delivering loud and persistent messages regarding the twin flame journey or the twin flame experience. So there are two broad categories of people that I can channel right now. One fall into the category where you have been ignoring your twin flame connection and you want to stay away from the twin flame connection. The second category is of people who have accepted their twin flame connection the way it is. But even they had to ignore the obsession, the obsessive mental thoughts. So if you resonate with it, then you've been feeling as if these signs, whatever signs and synchronicities you've been noticing, they've been calling you back to the connection, making you rethink your stance. Though you've tried to leave it behind, you're now faced with a flood of synchronicities that are impossible to ignore. Logically, you feel like you've moved on from your twin flame. Logically. Logically, statistically, and in the 3D reality, you felt like you've moved on from this connection or this person, and you noticed that your thoughts about them had decreased significantly, and as a result, your mental energy was focused elsewhere. Again, there are two types of people. One who felt that they were not able to do anything good in life every time they were thinking about this connection. So they had to disconnect from this energy. In both cases, you tried to leave the connection behind. After the obsessive thoughts with the twin flame had decreased, you got a sense of freedom, a welcome break from the intense emotions that used to dominate your mind. You've managed to reach a place of neutrality, neither positive nor negative about the connection. Now, for some of you, right after this happened, your twin flame, whosoever it was, started giving you a lot more attention. When you disconnected from that energy, the twin flame started giving you attention and importance, whatever it was you feel. I mean, you can see that they are suddenly interested in you and they were not doing anything before this. This is for one category. The other category, also, I feel, as per the download, you could sense that there's a noticeable improvement in various departments or various areas of life. You felt that you were more in control of your thoughts and emotions, and this was a refreshing change. It seemed like your life was finally moving in a positive direction without your twin's presence clouding your mind. From my perspective as a medium, I feel this is very important because a lot of people think that if they disconnect from that obsessive mental energy, they might lose their twin flame. But that's wrong. Actually, it's the opposite. When you disconnect from that mental obsession you have towards the twin flame or the fear of losing that person, because it's just a fear, fear is not real. However, in the recent days, synchronicities have been making a resurgence and they pulled you back into the energetic loop. What is this energetic loop? Some of you might ask. It is also like a portal, but it's a draining portal because you're constantly thinking about somebody and then you're also thinking about the result of what's going to happen, how is it going to happen. This is what drains the energy. And most demons also, they operate on the fear energy. So we don't need that energy in our lives, which is why we need to be detached. Now you think that despite your detachment, all the detachment happened, you're doing very well, you're doing fine. Now the universe seems to be sending constant reminders of your twin flame through many sources: YouTube videos, books, random conversations, hoardings, even nature, similar looking people, a lot of things. So you feel as if the world is conspiring to bring your focus back to this connection. And the synchronicities, they are so profound that you have started to indulge in them, leading to a return of the mental obsession you thought you had left behind. For some of you people, you knew that how you do one thing is how you do everything. You might have heard this on my channel also, but this is a reality. If you have a certain mental pattern or a habit, you're going to see that type of similar behavior pattern in other departments of life too. So, a lot of you changed your history. You were trying to change your future by doing a certain type of inner work. First, a lot of you tried to get this twin flame connection in your life. But then you realize that trying to do it is making your life more difficult. You're unhappy. And the person you want is running away from you, further away from you. If it's not a person that you were trying to achieve, but a connection or a feeling that, there's someone somewhere out there for you who's the right person for you. And the more you let go of that feeling, there are so many people who started appearing on your timeline, either wanted to, be with you, or they were striving hard, or they were trying hard to get to be in your periphery. So you saw yourself as a worthy person. Before that, you felt that nobody is really interested in you. So you are so unworthy, nobody wants to make any efforts for you. But as you started going inward, you realize that you don't need that type of validation externally. And boom, that's when the validation started appearing. So when you change a certain habit pattern, okay, you basically become an example of a person who other people also look up to, because you are now also an energy portal. Some of you actually managed to change your collective consciousness. You managed to skip into a frequency that was higher, and a certain type of frequency in your reality where you created a shift, a wonderful shift, and that shift allowed you to proceed further in life, do better, reflect a better energy. This improved version of you can work in a very positive and constructive manner, and you really don't need to explain yourself or justify yourself to other people, because I've noticed when there's a difference of opinion, you or anybody for that matter, makes huge amount of effort to explain to other people, like, this is who I am. Somebody who believes in asexuality has to work very hard to explain to someone who does not know about it, like, look, I'm asexual and this is my reason, and they have to go on convincing. I mean, you are meeting such people in your reality only because God wants you to figure out that it's okay to be who you are. If you don't believe in casual relationships, it's okay to be like that. If you don't believe in unnecessary drama, it's okay to be like that. If you don't want to live in the worldly 3D way, it's okay to be like that. You don't have to justify who you are. And I think it comes from the upbringing only, because when you're a kid, you don't want to be the way society is behaving in front of you, and you walk up to the adults around you and you say that, look, I don't want to do this, I want to be myself. I mean, obviously at that age you don't know how to enunciate all this, or how to put words to these things, to these feelings. You just act like, you're not comfortable being in that position or in that place where you're not being yourself. You are acting like how programmed version of you would act, which is what children know sometimes, and they don't want to be that way. But then the teachers and the parents and everybody else around, all the adults, they start kind of explaining it to them. And this explanation doesn't happen once or twice, it keeps happening over and over again. And I can give you like an example, a quick example over here, which can help you maybe even more. Like, I was an animal lover as a kid. I loved street animals especially, and it was not an unnatural thing. Even when I was just 8 or 9 months old, I started walking and talking quite early in life. There used to be lots and lots of dogs outside my house, street dogs. And see, at this age, I was not stepping out of my house looking for them because I was too young to do that. Now I can say, or people can say, oh, you're an adult, so you step out of your house and you feed them or you meet them and you're rescuing them, blah blah blah. But really, it was naturally present in my frequency. The animals, the dogs, the snakes, all the animals like that, or the nature based things, they were naturally present. Because for an 8 month or 9 month old baby, a 1 year old child who's so young, so tiny, it's impossible to make friends with street animals. But the street animals could figure it out, or they were so friendly with that frequency that they used to be outside my house. And my parents, they'd never seen something like that. They'd never seen 12, 15 dogs literally chilling out in front of someone's house. And it was a big house, it's still there, it's in the mountains. And my family members or the adults around me would actually have like long conversations on this, like, why are these dogs coming to this house? And then they started noticing that I was very comfortable with them. I used to sit with them, hang out with them, even give them fake food, like, just get my small little kitchen, the toy kitchen utensils, and put some sand on it and hand it over to them, or place it in front of them, and they would pretend to like really enjoy it. But this different personality or energy that I was reflecting was not welcomed. So every day I was taught to stay away from them. And I understand now, when you heal from these things, that they were not intentionally trying to separate me from them. Like, my mother told me, like, a couple of times when I asked her, why did you do it? Why did you keep me away from the street animals? She said, I didn't want you to get hurt. I didn't want you to go through some problem because of that. You were a tiny baby, and I did not know how to, protect you. I said, why did you think that I'm gonna be hurt? And she said, because I did not know anybody who was like you. In my mother's reality, there was no one like me. Obviously, and neither in my father's reality, neither in my grandparents. They'd never seen a human being, also an adult also, who would spend so much time with animals. Even though they had cows and buffaloes and goats and so many hen poultry in their house, but they only knew that animals and human beings can coexist in a way that it's a barter system. Although, let me tell you, even street animals really heal us, they help us, they protect us energetically, they are doing a lot of good things for us. But human beings are not programmed to understand. Not, I'm not putting all of them in that category, A lot of people don't. In certain frequencies and certain dimensions, they don't know this concept. So, yeah, they were trying in their own heads, they were trying to protect me from it. So, this example is very interesting because the more they fed it into my mind that I should stay away from them or they're going to harm me, I actually forgot about them. I never thought about street animals after a certain age. They didn't even exist in my reality. It was only because there was one mystical intervention took place, and I can talk about that story if you want to know. It was a divine intervention, and it involves a saintly figure of a fakir. He met me, and it was like an out of body experience, a trance like experience. And right after that, I met one puppy. Someone rescued a puppy in front of me, and that's it. After that, it never stopped. So, either a divine intervention has to happen, or maybe it's your Kundalini that's rising. Something has to happen that changes you or brings you back to your signature frequency. Maybe by that time, my time of being programmed or remaining in a certain frequency was over, and I had to go back to that old childhood frequency. And it was not that easy initially because for the first few years, when it started happening again, like I suddenly started feeling this huge connection with animals. And I think it happened also around the time right before I started writing In the Name of Love. In fact, yeah, I would like to say when this twin flame concept hit me hard, I realized that I really love animals and I really love nature and I really love to paint, or I don't want to be in this corporate setup. I have nothing against corporate jobs, some of them are really good, but certain things I was like not in tandem with after that. So, with this example, what I'm trying to say is that we can reprogram our minds and our lives. And this constant programming that people do when you're a child, it also works. It works like so well. So inner work and healing or therapy or just the twin flame experience is like bringing you back to who you are. And you may think, you may question why all this is even happening. It's happening because we all need to experience duality in order to understand singularity. And us experiencing duality is a part of the program that we are in. It's when you heal, you realize that this distortion that you have to experience, I mean, you can label it as distortion in duality, but you're going through it because this is a part of the yoga cycle. And this is exactly how it's meant to happen. It's literally part of the maintenance program. Earth Plane is a great school and especially been run for the purpose of ascension. So, all our major gods, Shiva, Vishnu, Brahma, and Vishnu is the one who's actually the Swayambhu creator. Even Vishnu keeps reincarnating on this planet. Why? Just to tell people that look, you're not the only one who's reincarnating here for the purpose of maintaining Earth plane. Even I'm doing that. And I'm also going through all of these situations. Shiva went through it. Vishnu went through it because these two are more active on planet Earth. Brahma is like, he's on a different plane. He's doing other jobs, but these two especially. And look, they're assisted by their divine counterparts, Lakshmi and Parvati. And who are they really working for? For a feminine planet. For all those people who keep forgetting, I mean, I'm talking about others. I'm not talking about the twin flame starseed and light workers. People forget that Earth is a feminine planet. And all these masculine gods I mentioned, they are working for the feminine planet along with their feminine divine counterparts. So some of them are choosing to be in separation. Purposely, they chose to be in separation with the one they love the most. Why? Because when you are technically separated and still you love someone so deeply, so beautifully, you're actually creating the energy of true love. That's true love. You're not going to get anything from this person, and yet you want to give everything to that person. You want to make their journey amazing. You want to give them power. You want to be of support to them. You want to love them. You want to make them feel special. And true love is literally a one-way traffic where people receive more joy in giving than receiving. But you still need to receive. You need to receive because you need to heal. And who do you get that energy from? As it's explained in the Lover's Tarot card, the feminine gets the energy from source, and the masculine surrenders completely to feminine. He knows that this is the one I love, and I gotta do everything, whatever she's telling me, I gotta do it. And I'm not saying this from a gender perspective because some of you might be masculine, but your stronger energy is feminine. Masculine gender wise, physically, biologically, but energetically, you're trying to figure out the feminine energy. And no, I'm not talking only about homosexuality because heterosexual couples also experience this. And look at all our gods and goddesses. Look at all our gods. They are so effeminate. Look at Shiva. He's grown his hair long, he's got dreadlocks, he wears all these jewels, he loves to dance. A lot of people would say these are all feminine qualities. Look at Ram, he also has his hair long and braided so beautifully when he's in Vanvas, and he's got this beautiful face. The features are so nice. And most of our feminine goddesses actually are quite opposite. Look at Kali, how fierce she is. Durga, how fierce she is. I mean, they're all females, but they're demon slayers. And that's what makes it so interesting. The feminine has got so much power. That's why she's called Shakti. Why the masculine is not called Shakti? Because he is the one who probably looks like he should have all the physical power. But it's like very different. Now the earth is going through a lot of healing because we see a lot of women taking up masculine roles and men taking up feminine roles. Is it right or is it wrong? We don't know yet. A lot of people don't understand it yet. But certain qualities of masculine also stand out, like he's a hunter. I mean, God has given him a certain type of body, which is not just like hunting is the primitive version of it, but that body structure and that personality that he has, most masculines, if they have it, it's more of a protector energy. Because if you look at Vishnu, Shiva, Brahma, they all have this protective energy. Okay, feminines, go, you do your thing, you want to slay the demons, you're watching from a distance, you do your thing, because we're going to be protecting you for sure. So maybe energetically they contribute in that demon slaying energy, that power, that Shakti that comes to them. And I can say the opposite. Look at Shiva, he's so calm. The feminines, in their personality and appearance, they look so calm, composed. They look like the actual leader of the house, or wherever they are, leaders leading. They are the leaders. So you've come to understand that the twin flame journey is journey of mirroring. And through this relationship, this connection, or just the experience of twin flame ascension, you've learned the deep lesson of detachment. And why is this mirroring important? Mirroring is important via whichever relationship you learn it, so that you can learn the deep lesson of detachment. The cycles of separation and reunion have taught you to release attachment to outcomes and expectations, which is actually, which was once a hard earned achievement. But some of you have figured it out, and I'm assuming that because of the way this download was sent to me. You figured out that if you want to even manifest something, I mean, somebody asked me a very good question. If we are supposed to surrender, then why do we need to manifest? Now, this is exactly the point I've been making for many, many years now. I've been telling people you don't need to really work hard to manifest anything, but you need to work hard on detaching from that desire that you want to manifest, because as soon as you do that, it actually happens, the manifestation happens. So the whole energy should go into you not being a chaser for anything you want. And Srimad Bhagavad Gita, interestingly, also talks about detachment. There are multiple verses, there are so many verses at so many places in different chapters. You can see how the Bhagavad Gita is teaching people detachment. Chapter 6, verse 35, Lord Shri Krishna says that the mind is difficult to control, but it can be done through practice and detachment. So, even to control your mind, in order to not become a slave of your mind, you need to be detached. And I'm telling you from my personal experience, when you love without attachment, you really experience love because you've got nothing to lose. You're not scared of losing anything. If a person is supposed to love you, because true love is also never one sided, it's not one sided. If a person is meant to love you, they will love you no matter what your circumstances or their circumstances. It's really magical. Detachment is magical. It's a big tool, it's a power in itself. Even if you love somebody deeply, if you read chapter 15, which is talking about the yoga, the mental yoga, not physical yoga, Sri Krishna enlightens Arjun in the previous chapter about the three modes of material nature. But Shri Krishna also says that you can detach the mind from the worldly world by attaching it to God alone. There's no other way. And I feel this is absolutely correct from practical experience. The more you integrate with Source, the more you are able to detach from the worldly world. Because when the mind is connected with the worldly world, it becomes very unstable. Reason being, the worldly world is very unstable. Maya is very unstable. One day it will show you something, and the other day it will show you something else. But Source integration is stable. And Sri Krishna explains the material world very graphically so that Arjun can understand its nature and develop detachment from it. Now, if you are Arjun, if you are the seeker who is talking to God, seeking God's advice, you need to understand the material world better. And duality is the way through which we understand the material world. Because what we learn from experience, we cannot learn it from theory. Theory is also very important because when you get epiphanies, it is because of theory, because you've heard it before, you've read it before, and suddenly when it's happening to you, you realize that, oh my God, this is actually happening to me. Practically, I can feel it. So the seeker learns to develop detachment within them. And Sri Krishna compares this materialistic reality, the worldly world, to an upside down Ashwa tree, the sacred fig tree. On the branches of this mysterious tree, the embodied souls wander up and down from one lifetime to another, lifetime after lifetime. And they're unable to comprehend its origin, age, expanse, or how it still continues to grow despite being upside down. But because Source, God, is the source of this tree, even when its roots face upwards towards the sky, the three gunas irrigate this tree, which creates the objects of the senses that are like buds on the tree branches. These buds sprout aerial roots that further propagate this ashwa tree over a large area. This symbolism of the upside down ashwa tree conveys the concept of how, in ignorance of this tree of material existence, all the embodied souls, they keep growing their bondage in the material world. But if we search for truth, and personally I feel unconditional love is also truth, because when you're looking for unconditional love or you're trying to understand unconditional love, you are separating and removing all these lustful concepts or false concepts of love, or all the attachment that is created by lust. You delayer all of the pollutants one by one. You purify yourself, your subconscious reality. It has lots of layers on top of it. The layers of illusion and delusion of lust posing as love. So Sri Krishna basically describes to Arjun how to cut down the Ashwa tree with the axe of detachment. In chapter 2, verse 39, Sri Krishna explains the science of working without desire of rewards. This is really so wonderful. I mean, that can only happen with true surrender. Because when people think that they are the doers of anything, they are also becoming very result oriented. Like, whatever you do, your mind is going to trick you into looking for the result. What's it that you're going to get from this? If you do the inner work, is it going to bring your masculine back to you? If you go to meditate, is it going to solve the problems of your twin flame journey? Mind is distracting you from experiencing true love. Mind is telling you, no, 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 don't go for that. That's like a long path, you need shortcut. You need to reach quickly to this person. If there's no person, then you need to reach quickly to this feeling of love. No, you can't do that by integrating with source. You got to do it by something else, which is obviously materialistic in nature. So, detachment from the fruits of your actions, karma, is how you actually remove the karma. In chapter 16, between verse 1 to 3, there is a talk of how to focus on the virtues of others instead of their defects. Because we are actually programmed to look for negative in everything. I know personally some people who negate everything, no matter what you say to them, even if it's for their good, even if it's really nice, even if you're giving them respect, they always negate it, or they always defend the negative people around them, which is such a waste of not only their energy but also a waste of those people's energy for trying to help them out. Chapter 2, verse 62, it discusses how attachment leads to desire, which then leads to greed and anger. Now, a lot of people actually get the entry pass to this journey via the repetitive numbers and some other basic synchronicities. For me, repeating numbers is the entry pass, because actual synchronicities happen after that, much later. For some people, it can happen a bit faster also, depending on how much penance they've done in past lives, what is the amount of tapas they have done, how detached they are. Some of you feel that you're going back to repetitive numbers, just that part of synchronicity, because you've been having visions, you've been having some dream channelings, you've been going through practical, tangible experiences, and you realize that those things are not happening right now. Have I regressed? Bringing old fears and limitations back to the surface. These emotions, basically. You are aware that you've grown significantly, but this resurgence of twin flame thoughts is triggering confusion or the desire of getting into a typical union, a 3D union, because most people want the typical 3D union, and it's really sad because they ask me also, many people ask me, are you in union? Who's your divine masculine? Like, I'm not going to tell you guys who's my divine masculine, not as of now. I'm not yet ready to do that. You know why? Because if I'm also going to be like everybody else, you guys are going to think that this is what 3D union is. And I personally know a lot of YouTubers who started much before me, because I actually wrote a book in 2010, which got published in 2011. But I never jumped into the YouTube scene at that time. I was not ready for it. It was only when I saw a lot of couples claiming to be in union and claiming to help other people, and they'd ended up giving the wrong concepts. Like, look at us, we are together, we are sitting here teaching you guys about twin flame journey and how to heal. So, you know what? We are the original gangsters, we know it all. But no, now at this point in time in 2024, a lot of them are separated. They're not making content together, they're in their separate realities. Why after all the marriage, and why also after this, creating YouTube channels together, why they've suddenly gone into such a long term separation? And they cannot even talk about it now because they gave all this gyan to people. Gyan means knowledge to people, that do what we are doing, sit next to each other, I mean, Shiva Parvati didn't do that. Ram Sita didn't do that. Radha Krishna didn't do that. If you look at their lifestyles, if you look at their story, they were actually in separation and willingly they went into separation, which is the physical separation. It may look like separation, but it was not separation even at that time. If Shiva goes away to a mountain, he says, I want to be alone. So what? I'm married, but I want to be alone for a couple of years. I'm going to come back and figure it out again. It doesn't mean that they are technically, yeah, they might look like they are in separation from a worldly 3D perspective, but they are not separated. They were not separated. And that was also the time when Parvati could do her inner work better, because she also had to learn some things, and she actually learned a lot of cool things. And when Shiva was away, she ended up creating Ganesha out of clay. Same thing Sita did when she was in Valmiki ashram under the disguise of a common woman. She actually created her second son, Kush, out of Kusha, out of grass. She created a baby, a biological child. How did she do that? That's like high level of inner work. I mean, to do that, to do it all by yourself. The other two boys, like Parvati's son, Kartike, that's what we've read. He was the biological one, which came from Shiva Shakti energy. But Ganesha was not born like that. But was he not Shiva's son? Of course, because he came from their separate penances. When Shiva went away to do his own penance or tapas is a better word for them, Parvati was able to create Ganesha while she's all by herself. And when Shiva realized that there's a certain detachment Parvati has found, he did not know Ganesha was being born at that time or he was created by Parvati. He had no idea. But when he came back, he saw a little boy guarding the gate of his house. And he said that I'm Parvati's son. And Shiva had no idea. So the reason why I tell people to read these stories of cardinal twin flames is because it's going to give you so much insight and it's going to give you so much inspiration on your own path, in your own twin flame ascension journey. You're going to get so inspired just by reading all this, going through all this. It's very interesting. Probably with Shiva Parvati and Sita Ram and Radha Krishna, I feel that they knew that this phase of mental obsession is gonna arrive anytime soon, because physical union is like that, 3D union is like that. The more you stay in a 3D setup, the more people become codependent. So before that phase could affect them, they decided to go away because they did not want their offsprings, biological as well as non biological, to ever get wrongly influenced or get misconfused. Even by looking at Radha Krishna's union, they are worshipped together in every temple of this country. But they never dated each other, they never got married to each other. And still, there were so many saintly people and so many sages who saw them together. That's how they began to worship them together. Because they never thought that if they look for Radha, they're going to find Krishna, or they look for Krishna and they're going to find Radha. Because they were always found or seen together with each other. Especially to those sages and seers who were practicing unconditional love and devotion. So, for all those people who feel that you've regressed in terms of receiving synchronicities, you now understand that you did grow a lot, you had grown significantly, but now you are feeling a bit of frustration because you don't want to fall back into the same old mental state that you worked so hard to rise above. There is a tug of war happening within you. On one hand, you recognize your twin flames' weaknesses, their worldly attachments, and lack of commitment. But on the other hand, you're drawn to the specialness of the connection, despite these very flaws. Now, this is also what Srimad Bhagavad Gita talks about. Chapter 16, verse 1 and 3, 1, 2, 3 actually discusses how to focus on the virtues of other people instead of their defects. So, why is the twin flame any different? Twin flame is the same. Twin flame is your mirror, is a reflection. So, you got to look at the special things that they bring onto the table in the relationship instead of looking at what you can't get from them. Like, there can be somebody who would think that, oh, my twin flame is not physically there with me, I can't do these physical things with them, or 3D things with them, the material things with them, and they feel like they're not fulfilled in their journey, or maybe they made a wrong decision by going away from the connection or by choosing someone else. And I'm specifically talking about runners, because runners usually get either married to someone else or they date someone else. They usually typically marry or date those people who bring in the material comforts in their life, who bring in material stability in their life. But then they realize that it's a cage, it's a golden cage that they're stuck in. However, there has to be a reason even behind that material cage, the golden cage. Because that golden cage reminds them of the connection they have with their actual counterpart. And I'm not saying they should dump their wives or husbands. I don't know if they have to do it, why not? But if they don't want to do it, probably they need to look for a better solution. They need to probably ask questions like, why are they in a certain connection? What is the reason behind a certain type of connection they're into? Why do they want to go to their twin flame? Even physically, even in the 3D reality. Is it because of validation? Is it because of some kind of lack of fulfillment? Do they feel that if their twin flame loves them in a certain specific style, they are worthy of love? I mean, some people need to accept God's will as well. Like, if God decided for them that they need to be with a certain person in a certain relationship, then maybe that's the best thing to do. Like, Radha and Krishna maintained their love, but they were married to someone else because their love was very spiritual in nature, it was very divine in nature. It had got nothing material or physical, no physical element in that, which is why it became so pure and magical. Maybe with their partners, those who choose other partners, the lesson is to give their 100% even in that relationship. Like, if they need to build a family or they need to do anything, whatever is required, they need to do that. And maybe with their twin flame, they need to maintain a divine connection, a type of love that doesn't come from a 3D or a tangible setup. This is for some people. Now, for those who probably choose a career path, or for those who choose moving to another country, or for those who choose something else, I mean, something else, probably they need to make the effort to reconnect with their twin flame in a tangible way, in a physical way. And what are the steps that they need to take for that? Who do they need to approach for healing? Or how do they need to do their healing? What do they need to let go? How much of honesty they need to maintain? I mean, did Krishna ever hide from Rukmini that he loves Radha? No. Or did Krishna ever hide from Rukmini that Draupadi was his friend? Because he never said Draupadi is a sister or she's related to him in some way. He always called her Sakhi. Sakhi means friend. Because with Draupadi, he had a friendship based relationship. I mean, it was obviously there was a relation also, but they were very much like friends. And it was Krishna who came to protect Draupadi eventually. Her own husband, she had 5 husbands. None of the husbands could protect her. It was Sri Krishna who had to eventually intervene to protect her. That's the power of true friendship. And true friendship is also one of the formats of unconditional love. So, the tug of war. There is a tug of war happening within you. As I said, on one hand, you feel like there's so many problems in this twin flame ascension journey or connection. But on the other hand, you feel you've received so much from it, you've gained so much from it. It is such a special connection. Maybe the internal conflict for some of you is knowing that you need to move on while simultaneously being reminded of something deeper that pulls you back in the balance. So I can pick on to the energy of someone who's seeking clarity from the universe, meditating, sitting in silence, listening for guidance, living a healthy life, quitting all the addictions, the alcohol, the drugs, the casual sex, or maybe some kind of other bad habit they had, maybe betting or gambling, gaming, uh, gaming aimlessly. I mean, some people are just gaming because they're distracting themselves, and some people are gaming and making money and earning livelihoods and helping a lot of people. So, what is it that you're doing in life, and why are you doing it? Instead of getting clear answers, you're faced with more confusion. You're trying to understand what the universe is trying to communicate, but the messages seem to be mixed, leaving you unsure of the next steps. And by the end of this channeling, my intention is to provide you with the type of information that's going to help you feel better. But before I do that, I need to explain what's happening to a lot of people. Some people are definitely confused what to do with the twin flame connection who are single, then some are married, some are divorced. Everybody is going through different conflicts, right? Whatever your case is, you can work with me one on one also. You can get into therapy with me, you can get into reading sessions with me. There are different types of courses I do. And I'm adding one new course because I've noticed that along with all the other wonderful therapies I'm doing, there's a dire need for people to learn the real law of attraction. Because all these manifestation coaches and law of attraction coaches are teaching people gibberish nonsense. They are teaching people to be full of desires. They're teaching people to be more entangled. But law of attraction is not supposed to make you more entangled. It is supposed to make you more detached. So I'm doing this metaphysical therapy, a new therapy that I've added to my list. Learn real law of attraction in 4 sessions, 4 different sessions. And in between the sessions, there's going to be the time for assessment and assignments in the 3D reality, because you're going to use 3D reality and all the things that you want to manifest as a tool. If you badly want to manifest $1 million, or you badly want to manifest your twin flame connection, your 3D twin flame connection, then this is the course that you need to be in, because it's going to detach you in such a way that you can actually understand what you want to manifest. If you want to get into one on one reading with me, an energy reading with me, then kindly do not share anything in advance. You can write to me at the Sunamoon at gmail.com if you're from India to book the session to get my details. And if you're from any other part of the world, then PayPal link works fine. However, kindly do not share anything in advance because I use intuitive tools to get to the bottom of the situation. And for that, I need to meet you like a fresh blank slate. If you hand over a lot of information, then it acts like an obstruction. So, for some of you, if the synchronicities continue, the ones that confuse you, the ones that put you in a roller coaster of emotions that you cannot explain fully, sadness, laughter, anger, hope, what is the reason you're going through all this? If these synchronicities are relentless, making it difficult for you to escape your twin flame's presence in your mind. This is the heavy duty attachment presence that I'm talking about, where you don't know how to manifest the connection. You are left feeling trapped in this loop. If you're stuck in the loop, wondering if you should trust these signs or these are illusions sent by the demons. Should you continue on your path of detachment or you should go for these synchronicities? Are these even synchronicities, or some demonic entity has managed to create a loop in your timeline, in your mental timeline? So whatever is happening, if you are searching for answers, clarity and peace, then this section of this channeling is going to help you out, because there are some steps that I can tell you which can help you to navigate from your current situation in your twin flame ascension journey. Number one, check for mental addiction patterns. If you are becoming mentally attached or addicted to thinking about your twin flame, this could be a loop. This loop can be difficult to break, and it's a sign that you could be slipping into an old habit pattern. If you find your thoughts are becoming obsessive and uncontrollable, this is an indication that you're being tested by source. Now you're going to think, why am I being tested by source? The test basically lies in whether you can break free from the loop and regain control of your mind or not. So, if you successfully break out of this mental loop, you will unlock new levels of personal power. This detachment doesn't mean that you're abandoning the connection. Rather, you're rising above all the negativity that you don't understand that comes from the connection. By stepping into this higher state of awareness, you're going to find yourself vibrating at a new frequency that aligns with your true, authentic self. The power you gain through detachment is extremely profound and transformative. So, on the other side of the detachment lies a new frequency. This new frequency brings you closer to your soul's true vibration, which is your signature frequency. This is where you truly begin to embody your soul's purpose, and you can move forward in life with a sense of peace and fulfillment. Reaching this frequency is a key milestone in your spiritual evolution, because this is going to eventually open doors to higher consciousness and deeper self awareness. So, this is why all of this is happening to you, okay? Because when you achieve this detachment, you can not only create space for your own healing, but also for your twin flame connection. In fact, not just for your twin flame connection, but anybody who's connected to you via karmic ties, you can help all of them, you can inspire all of them. Because in this state, you embody unconditional love. And this shift is felt energetically by your twin flame. The more you heal and evolve, the more your twin flame connection, the person who you think is your twin flame, is likely to mirror that healing. You can heal from anybody, your toxic ex, your narcissistic parents, if you have narcissistic mother in law or father in law, narcissistic partners, narcissistic siblings, narcissistic bosses, friends, whatever, the whole world. This brings you both closer to experiencing true and unconditional love, free from attachment and expectation. But you experience this with other people later on. First, you experience it within yourself. This test is an opportunity for you to move to a higher plane of understanding love, unconditional love, and allowing yourself to heal and grow in healthier and more evolved way. And then eventually creating the same energy for your twin flame connection. So, the final piece of this puzzle, final piece of this downloaded message also, is that you need to deeply understand self love and self worth. When we think about our twin flame or feel a connection with them, sometimes we tend to rely on their presence or behavior for our own happiness and love. Therefore, another crucial aspect of this journey is to recognize and experience your self love and self worth without depending on any external relationship or circumstance. This teaches you that true love resides within your soul. When you start to deeply love yourself, your energy becomes so pure and powerful that your journey with your twin flame can deepen and become more fulfilling. It becomes a major part of your personal growth when not only you break free from the mental loop, but also recognize the power of your own soul. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for doing your inner work. And let's also have gratitude to Source, to our masters, to spirit guides who are always taking care of us and assisting us with these amazing and authentic downloads that help us further in our twin flame ascension journey. I will see you in the next one. One love. Peace out and victory to Ram.